And we're back again. It's your friendly neighborhood film watchers. It's Frankly Football. We back in the building.
Let's go. What's going on, What's going on, Big BH? How you feeling, baby?
I'm doing all right, man. How you doing?
Hey, man. Listen, football is the season officially over, but we understand it's a 24/7, 365 acquisition type of business. So we're going over. We're finally engulfed fully in draft talk and things of that nature. Kind of recapping what we saw in the Super Bowl, some of the things that we had a chance to see all 16 games. When you can't protect, you can't win, and
Right.
kind of fit in for what we're looking for with the Cowboys. Also, got to look at some DBs because if we're going to fix this football team, we've got to fix it on the defensive side of the ball.
Absolutely. And that's why 100% of my film watching so far has been devoted to the defensive side of the ball. And you touched on it a little bit. Today we're gonna be talking about cornerbacks. I think that this defensive class didn't get the credit that it deserves, to be totally honest, because, and I've said this multiple times, I think that these day two guys, a lot of these teams would be happy to have this talent. And getting a little bit further down the cornerback board, I find this to be true. So I think it's pretty clear who our top guys are. Farley
Right.
and Horn, guys that can do it all. One with a bit less nuance in the form of Farley, who, to be totally honest, could have benefited from playing in 2020. But those two guys, we know who they are. And I think that they can do it all. But you get down to guys who have very dedicated skill sets, like Patrick Surtain. I think that Patrick Surtain is going to be a press man corner in this league. That's what he does. His zone skills are so at best. How you feel about Pat Surtain?
Right. Well, I mean, I'm not as high on Pat Surtain as everybody else is. I mean, coming into this process, I loved him because of his last name and who his father was. So you kind of have, memories of who his father was and what he could do. But then I started looking at how it came to the league and what his skill set brought. And like you said, he's a zone guy. And you kind of want to have a guy who opposite of Diggs is a speed guy, a guy who can give you some different things. But I'm also looking now what my DC likes. And if we want to go back to Legion of Boom mindset, he likes a corner who's long, who can play in that cover three set, but also smart enough to turn his head back and be a ball hawk. When we go back and look at that, because I kind of look at it three different ways. I look at what Dave Quinn liked at the Legion of Boom, but then I also looked at the two teams in the Super Bowl, the corners they had over there, and none of those guys were like, "Oh, I got to have that guy." If you look on the side of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you don't see a guy over there like, "Oh, I got to have that guy," except for if you like small safeties, like some of us do. And if you turn around, you want that guy. If you want to turn around and look at the Chiefs had, Breland, who we knew, had Chardavius Ward, who we had, and we had, and then we had a guy like Tyrann Mathieu, who
another
is
small set,
old honey badger, and then
might be another.
And then there's
it's a method to my madness. I'm letting you know.
You know what? We will not until we look at a little bit more film. Now I understand he's already safety one for you, but to put that moniker on him as a HB 2.0, that's a tall order, and we may have to send that out for review with some other people to see if we can put him in that in that mold. Might have to talk to our man Skywalker. Still have to talk to the Godfather, the Don Corleone, Boss Lombardi, and see if he says we can put that moniker on him. That's a
I make my own rankings, man. I feel like.
I mean, listen, bro. Hey, listen, man. You the young Sonny. Sonny from the Godfather in this game. You gonna shoot from the hip. I just don't want to get you caught in the toll booth with a bad tape, and then I gotta come back and kill everybody. I don't want to do that, man.
Hey, man, it be like that sometimes. It be like that.
I understand, bro.
But going back to what you said about what Dan Quinn likes. Dan Quinn likes, and if you go look back historically at his Legion of Boom success, he likes his corners to be able to play the man. So although Surtain isn't, my flavor, he fits this team. Yes, this is a draft talk, draft show, but we are primarily Cowboys centric, like you brought out. So the things that Surtain does well, that's something that Dan Quinn covets in his corners. How do you think that he would fit in this team?
So Tay will be fine. I mean, you're looking at a guy who one could probably be able to kick Anthony Brown back inside where he's best at as a slot corner. Even though I've never thought he was a great slot corner, he's always around the ball in the slot because of his recovery speed. So I think I would think he would be better on the outside, but he's always just played better in the slot. So if you turn around and bring him in, he could be your second corner opposed to Diggs, and then that gives you the kind of cover you want. You got a pair of smart, intelligent corners who've been coached up very well in college and coming to this level. So I like Surtain over there. He wouldn't be my first pick over on that side because I want a burner. I want a guy who can fly. And I know Diggs can run. I don't think Diggs can fly. That's why I think Farley is much better because I know Farley's twitchy, run fast, jump high guy, and that's why I like him.
I agree. I shudder to think about putting Pat Farley on a guy like Tyreek Hill. We played the Chiefs this year.
You mean Pat Farley? That'd be a
Pat
nice.
Surtain. Pat Surtain. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Pat Surtain. Yeah, I shudder at that thought because, like you said, Diggs isn't necessarily a burner.
Right.
He'll go out there and he'll play the zone well. He'll play the man well. But when you have to match him up with flat out speed, he's not going to be your guy for that.
But let's be honest. Let's be honest, B. Nobody's going to kind of do that anymore. I think when you look at some of your elite guys in the league, you have to have him have the ability to do a little bit of both. If you're going to go up against, let's go against the guys that we think are top tier. Mike Evans is a big, tall, fast guy. Devontae Adams is a shake 'em up type of receiver that has the ability to get vertical, but just does everything well. When he goes into practice every day, he's going to deal with a route running monster in Amari Cooper, who turns people inside out. So I think you need a guy who there's only maybe one, maybe two lockdown man-to-man press corners in this league, in my opinion. And that's Jalen Ramsey. That's Ramsey and LaShawn and Lattimore with the New Orleans Saints. So I think this class has guys who are complimentary guys, but I don't think as of yet we see that number one shut down, lock the side of the field cornerback in there. So I think all these guys kind of fit Quinn's mold because of the ability to turn their head, play the ball, and is able to work well in space. Does that make sense? I hope I went too far, but you follow where I'm going?
You summed it up excellently, and I think that it set me up for my next point. I watched some film today because my system went down at work and I needed to keep myself busy.
Right. Sure it went down. But that's what's good. That's good. That's benefits all of us.
I watched a bit of Kelvin Joseph today, corner for Kentucky. I loved what I saw. I think that he's a very fast guy. One of his defensive ends got an interception and ran it back, and Joseph caught up with him from 15 or 20 yards back.
Made a block for him too. Football
IQ. Absolutely. Loved it. I think that he has those ball skills that you're talking about. And the film that I'm talking about in this particular situation is against Mississippi State.
Right.
He got an interception in which he flexed his hips excellently, tracked the ball in the air excellently, and came down with the pick. And there was an NFL pick too. He got both feet down.
Ball hawk.
Yes, absolutely. He jumped routes. And if their quarterback wasn't trash and didn't throw 50 million picks, that one honestly might have been another one, but it was just an inaccurate pass. But I think that the one thing that I haven't seen just yet, well, in large quantities in the 2 games that I've watched so far, is his ability to press. And it's ironic that I say this because while I didn't see him press a single play against Mississippi State, in the game that I watched against Florida, his best play in the game, I think, came from him pressing. I think that he possesses great spatial awareness. He knows that the sideline is his friend when he's playing man. And
so when you saw him, just when you saw him play against Florida, there's a guy, maybe talent-wise, guy that everybody's in love with, 6'6", tight end. How did you do against him? I'm just asking.
Well,
asking
Kyle
for
Trask
a friend down the street, that I know.
Of course. Kyle Trask did Kyle Trask things. Not Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts. I'm sorry, it's 2 Kyles. You get confused a little bit. But Kyle Pitts did do Kyle Pitts things. He got a deep pass on him in which he got behind him and got some good yak as well. But you expect that.
But after that,
I'm not gonna say that Joseph locked him up, but he limited him.
What?
He let him get. And here's the thing, he wasn't scared either. He pressed Kyle Pitts. He pressed him.
Fearless. So
absolutely.
Can we say young Calvin? Because young Calvin, does he? So we say he's a ball hawk, fearless, got length, does a lot of different things that if you ended up drafting him and putting him onto the side of put him on the side of Trayvon Diggs, you turn around and have a 1-2 tandem at corner of guys who can do certain things. The one thing we have to look at with young Calvin is his tackling ability, his willingness to tackle. Because I don't need my corners to be linebackers, because that's not what I'm calling them to be, but I need them to have a willing to tackle. I think that's one of the underrated things that we see with Chidobe Awuzie. He is a willing tackler. He will go in there, stick his nose in there and get after it. Diggs will do the same thing. Diggs will stick his nose in there and tackle. That was one of the things that I love about him. So Calvin's moving up the board. For me. I think he's cornerback 3 for me right now. He's cornerback
I don't hate it
for me.
He's knocking at that door for me right now. He's sitting at 4, but I got 2 more games to watch. Before the end of the night, he may be my corner 3. I like that he can do man and zone. That's something that we're going to need, especially in what may be an aggressive secondary. Dan Quinn wants guys who are going to be looking for the ball constantly. He wants ball hawks. So that's going to be a trait that is highly coveted. I think that the thing that raises my eyebrow a bit is he was a rotational guy. He would be off of the field for longer periods of times, and it made me wonder why. Because the play on the field didn't show that needed to be the case.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's a question, and that's the beauty of us getting inside this process, because we can find out if we can get more tape out on him and find out why he was off the field as much. Because if he comes to Dallas, he's not gonna have that time to split and sit on the sideline. He's gonna need to come in and give you 40, 50 plays out the gate. And if he's capable of keeping that same level of intensity and play the way he did against Mississippi State, the way he played against Florida, I think he fits in perfectly into what we're trying to do.
Now, one of the reasons that I really like what he could provide for the team in terms of value, he played a ton of cover 3. And that's what you're going to see a lot on this team.
Right. Okay. Good.
So he's going to fit like a glove in that situation. But I want to know if motor is an issue for him. The reason that he had to come out for an extended period of time. Is he a guy that's gonna get a little asthmatic, because you're not gonna have 10 corners where the coach can just say, I need a cornerback.
Did you say asthmatic, like shortness of breath? Did you? Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
That's something that's my main question thus far.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to
he did
dive.
have
Yeah.
he did have one play that I really looked at as bad in against Mississippi State. They ran a bunch route against him, and it confused him. You could see his brain stop. He stood still for a second before he actually got on towards the guy. He was involved in the tackle, but it was barely a half of a tackle. But the thing about it is his mental lapse meant that either guy could have got the ball because the help behind him wasn't top notch.
Okay.
So that was
Well,
the main play that I saw as bad, but in a game where they didn't target him until until the second half of the game a lot, it didn't knock him but so much.
okay. Well, listen, that's why we're inside the process. I think we got to put some more eyes on young Calvin to get him where we want to get him to. So, but it gives us more options. It gets us back to what we said in our sweet spot in the draft of the second and third and fourth round, where we can really make hay.
I
If
love day two.
we
I love day two this year.
I mean, I love it. Yeah, I think day two is going to be amazing. I think day two, you change you change the projection of your football team with day two with four guys. You get four guys in day two, you change this whole football team.
Absolutely. Next guy that I really like is Ifeatu Melifonwu. He has a brother in the league, Obi Melifonwu.
Obi's. I don't know.
Now
I don't know if Obi in the league anymore.
I don't think so. But the thing that I like about Ifeatu, compared to Obi was an Olympian athlete who stumbled into football. So he didn't really quite know if he liked it yet. Ifeatu is playing as
I like that.
He's a footballer right now. He's a footballer right now. And Obi is still in the league. He plays for San Fran. But Ifeatu, he practices this craft. He knows that this is what he wants to do. So you don't have that commitment concern early on in the career. Obi now obviously knows that this is what he wants to do. He's still playing in this league. But Ifeatu, he already knows that this is what he wants to do. He's rangy, athletic, physical. So I think that he has all of the things that makes him an intriguing prospect. I think that he's another guy that, a lot like Diggs, is going to be a great guy on the outside playing zone. And honestly, I think that he's great as a run defender. Well, I would think that he is above average on that because he can tackle. So if you don't want teams running 200 plus yards on you or 300 plus yards on you, then you want guys that can tackle. You feel where I'm coming from there?
Oh, I feel wholeheartedly where you're at with him. But like I said, if he's going to be my second corner on my football team, I don't need him. If I'm looking at him to do a whole lot of tackling, and I'm not looking at him to be a corner, I'm looking at him to be my free safety, or be my nickel linebacker if I have to take a certain guy off the field because he can't turn his hips and run. So or be a guy putting the dime.
Well, I think I see it like this. Ifeatu is one of those guys that I would get as my second corner in the draft. I think that's where you see like a lot of the increased value for him. I wouldn't take him per se to be my starting guy on the other side. In a sense that, just like you said, I want two guys who can really take away the outsides of the area from sidelines to the hashes. I want two guys who can do that, and I want Ifeatu to be. I don't want to say like the bonus piece, but he's like a rook in chess. If you know how to use him right, then he'll be great for you.
Okay, I mean that's But to draft him, where we're talking about draft him in or be our corner number four, well, corner number five right now, because we got his corner number five because
Yeah.
we may butt one down. He's got to be more than a situational chess piece, because with his height and size and his talent, his upside has got to be able to give me the point that I can drop him on the field. And if he's a depth guy, then he's a project. If we're talking about corner number five, we're talking about a guy who's got to be able to come in and give me 25 to 45 plays a game. So you follow what I'm saying, B? What we're looking at corner five. Corner five has got to be a guy that, if he's a great tackler, then is he a better tackler? If he's a better tackler, then I can move him out to safety and he can chase tight ends and stuff like that. But if he's a cover guy who can cover the thirds, who's got smart and instinctual and can go track the football, then I need him on the outside opposite of Diggs, or outside opposite wherever he goes. You follow me?
I definitely understand. I 100% understand. And yeah, I agree to an extent. Where if he's going to be relied on almost exclusively for his ability to stay in a zone and then run down and tackle, yeah, he may as well be a strong. But we have that already.
Right. Or free.
Yeah. I got other plans.
Well, if he's gonna be cornerback five, and right, I got other plans, and I got other guys who I could go get, guys who don't translate as much as being cover corner guys to being, small size linebackers, running tackle linebackers. But I don't need a project for my strong safety, because I already got a strong safety. If I'm going to bring a guy in, he's going to have to be able to be maybe day 3 guy who can come in, play special teams, and be able to maybe get on the field and back up Donovan Wilson. You follow me? That's where I'm at.
Of course.
So I like Obi, but I don't see him right now being a day two guy. Everybody we're looking at, because like you say, he's number 5. That puts him in late day 2, maybe early day 3 guy for me.
Okay. This next guy, I got kind of mixed emotions on. Asante Samuel Jr. A part of my evaluation on him is because in some ways I feel like we missed out on drafting his father. So I think that
we missed out on drafting who now? We missed out on drafting
Asante Samuel, his father.
Oh, so you saw, okay, so yeah, you talking about Asante Samuel Jr. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So some of my evaluation may be hooked up in that a little bit, but I like Asante, man. I like Asante Jr. I think that he would be a guy that excels in a man heavy scheme like what Dan Quinn likes to run. But I know that this coaching staff isn't looking to get smaller in a lot of positions. I'm looking for him to get smaller at safety. Is it stingy of me to tell them to get smaller at safety and corner?
No,
I try to be fair.
What you want them to do is say, put the best football player at safety, and it just so happens that his school lists him at 5'8", but he's really 5'7", maybe 5'6". That's what you want to say. Don't look at his height and size. Look at him just being a great football player. And there are 2 cases out there in the league right now. You can say that makes sense, but that only works in areas and places where they have a dominating front 7. And I think that's the one thing we have to honestly put when we talk about. And we're going to stop calling him itty bitty. We're going to start calling him safety 1. Darius Washington.
Of course.
We're going to start calling our Darius Washington safety 1. But because if the only thing, as you said so eloquently before, the only thing that you can say bad about him is that he's small, then that doesn't matter. I mean, you're not saying he's slow. You're not saying he won't tackle. You're not saying he won't go, track the ball and stick it off. You're just saying he's small. So, then you got to just beef your front 7, which you need to do anyway. So it makes sense to me. Yeah.
So to bring this back to Asante, I think that he fits the mold of someone like Brandon Flowers or Denzel Ward. That's
That's high
the
praise.
feeling that I'm
That's high
getting
praise.
rumbling up in me.
That's high praise, man.
Yeah.
I would okay. I don't I don't like getting to comparisons like that, but because of it, because of his size, his height and his size, his fight is incredible. Everything about being a quarterback is what he does amazing. His feet are great, good quickness, ball awareness, a willingness to go do things. The only thing you got to knock him on is he's not that big.
Now hold on though. I do have some gripes about Asante Samuel
Oh,
though. I think that
what's right?
his ball skills aren't excellent. When his back is to the line of scrimmage, he
Mm-hmm.
has some issues locating the ball. I'm not
Okay.
sure if that's issues with turning his head and things like that, but he in the same breath that I praised Kelvin Joseph's ball skills, I
Right.
have to say that Asante Samuel Jr.'s are lacking.
Mm, okay.
I'm
Okay.
not going to say that he's a
So
bad player by any means,
no,
but
he's not a bad
you
player at
know,
all. So he's your number 6 right now.
as it stands right now,
Okay.
I still have more guys to watch. I plan on watching Greg Newsom.
Okay. Okay.
I'm a I'm gonna give Sean Wade another watch.
I'm not sure why you're gonna waste data, eye time, and moments away from your lady to do that, but okay, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just your friend.
Hey man, but I'm just
Listen, man, you saw Sean Wade. You know
oh
when
yeah,
you saw him? You know when you saw Sean Wade?
when
You know when you know when you seen him. Go
oh
ahead and
yeah,
say his name. Uh-huh.
when I watched Darren Wally, that
There you
that
go. That's Darren Worley Jr. So I'm not wasting no time watching Sean Wade. You know?
um one of the guys that I like though that I'm gonna watch more because I've only watched about one game and 2 quarters and 2 other games. Rodarius Williams, Oklahoma State cornerback. Um,
Mm, yeah.
I like him, man. He's gonna be a little older than guys, a little bit more developed because he's a redshirt senior. Um,
Mm,
so I want to go back and watch him and get a solid evaluation on him because the things that I did see, what's the best way to say it? Raised some eyebrows, caused some intrigue, I guess is
okay.
the right way to say it.
Okay.
Um, you know who he is, right? That's Greedy Williams' older brother.
Okay. Okay. That's
Yeah.
his older brother. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Um,
All right.
the things that I don't like about Rodarius Williams, and he's not corner 7 for me. This is just a guy that I need to go back and watch.
Okay. Okay. Just a guy to
Um,
put your eyes on.
yeah. And I think that this can be taught. His reaction time it leaves a lot to be desired. I'm not sure if it's mental processing or him just not being sure of himself, but his reactions are lacking, to
Mm,
say the best. Um, but his jab step, man, is amazing to me. That's one of
okay.
those things that intrigues me. When he's gonna press somebody,
Mm-hmm.
he's great. Um, and it's like his approach to it is a mixture of a wide variety of things.
Okay.
And
So
for someone to incorporate such an unconventional style, it I have to applaud it that it works.
so kind of he's like a mixed bag. He's like a mixed bag of different things he does. He doesn't do anything particularly great. He's got some kind of tools and things of that nature. So you're just gonna go back to look to see what you can pluck out of him that could be able to be fitting for a team on day 3, right? Or high priority undrafted free agent. Is that what you're saying? Or do you think
Yeah,
he is a great draftable? He has a draftable grade on him.
he's probably going to be draftable because I mean teams are going to need corners. Teams
Right.
need corners. I
Always
think
will.
that he's going to be
Okay.
draftable, but he's going to be a day 3 guy, probably a fifth round
Okay.
target.
Okay.
And if he does happen to be undrafted, then he may be like a priority free agent.
Okay. All right. Well, we got, like I said, it's February, so we,
Yeah,
we
we
don't
got
have to.
till April to get this right.
We
We
yeah
have
we yeah
until
well
April.
yeah. I think we got a couple more weeks and then we can start putting some grades on some guys. But you still got pro days coming up, and I think pro days are going to go ahead and start separating some guys out the gate because the people will get seen. You get some times, you get some real measurements on people, and then you just have to go with that.
Yeah. Was Trevor Lawrence pro day today?
Dude, and you know what? I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Okay, I'm telling you, between dealing with justice, with a certain guy in a certain town that no longer has unemployed dude, and dealing with the rain today, I didn't catch to see if Trevor Lawrence's pro day was today. But you know, that's the beauty of the internet. We can go back and check it out. We'll go back and see it because if it was his pro day, it was always ETN's pro day. It was a lot of those other guys.
ETN didn't do anything. ETN didn't do anything.
Okay.
Most of Trevor Lawrence's targets were ex-NFL guys. I think he only threw to one collegiate receiver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
which I think that helps him. That helps him maybe, but you know, the other guys not so much. He probably confirmed himself as quarterback one. And he's gonna go get his shoulder cleaned up, non-throwing shoulder. So he's gonna go get that cleaned up ahead of the draft.
Okay. Well, I mean, listen, we've been highly anticipating and putting Sunshine as QB1 for 2 years.
Of course. So, I said this during the 2020 draft season. So
yeah. Well, I mean that makes sense for it. So I think with going back to what you were saying, with quarterbacks. So we're 7 deep right now.
Yeah.
That you know without question. Are some of the guys that you had as cornerbacks, maybe cornerbacks, you totally shifted them over to safeties or linebackers? Who have you shifted over that you're not looking for to be on the outside?
That you shifted a guy who has
strictly safe.
A guy who has a lot of those talents or traits, who has played both. Elijah Molden.
Elijah Molden, right.
Some teams may look at him to be their safety. Not a gigantic guy. He's 5'10", measured by the school, so he may be 5'9" or 5'8".
Okay.
But he's a guy who is in my list to watch. I just got to get to him and honestly get some film. But he is a guy who is going to probably work out as a safety for some teams. Willing to hit. And just like you said with Ifeatu, if he's gonna end up being a guy who's like a last line of defense per se, and is eager to hit, he may end up being a safety by whatever team drafts him.
Okay. All right. So Elijah Molden. What about our boy Hamsardine?
Hamza Nasruddin. Yeah. I said this a few weeks ago.
Florida State, by the way. Florida State. We gotta get a nickname for him.
He's one of the confusing names that I have an easier time pronouncing.
Yeah, you rock with that one. I'm just gonna start calling him Nas. That's what I'm gonna call him.
That works.
That works. Nas is good. Well, no, I don't want to put Nas on. That means he's great. So we'll make it Nazi. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm listening, buddy.
But his thing is he's played everywhere on the defense. And he's huge. He's sizey.
Sizey guy. Okay.
Yeah. So he's gonna be a guy that's gonna either end up being a strong safety, which is where he's gonna be primarily working at anyway. But then he may also be a linebacker because a lot of teams that use those strong safeties down in the box, they glorify linebackers.
Gotcha.
So he would probably be at one of those two positions in the league. Him constantly growing, he's probably gonna transition to linebacker later in his career anyway.
Okay, or maybe earlier in his career, just make him
in the right system.
Yeah, right system. Make him a wheel, run around, chase tight ends, run and tackle guy. So that might be the move for Nazi. So I like him there. So we got Nazi, we got Elijah Molden. Anybody else that we move?
Well, I mean, I don't want to say move per se, but this guy is a premier talent. Man, I think JOK is he's a good safety already.
That's for most people. he is for me. Oh, gosh, I'm not gonna put him. I'm not gonna put him there. JOK is draftable at 10, and what you're gonna do, you're just gonna have the best cover linebacker in the NFL. But you're gonna have to leave him there. You're not gonna have to say, oh, hey, because you can do that, we can drive back to safety. I think he will be your best cover linebacker if you draft him, and just leave him there because he can go do everything. But he reminds you of Simmons last year of what Simmons could do so much stuff. Go on the slide, play some safety, run and tackle linebacker guy. So I'm not even putting him. I'm not even looking at him as safety anything. He's linebacker one. He's linebacker one for me.
Absolutely. Kind of sticking with DBs. I got a question. Why do people like Javon Holland? I went back and watched some more of him today while I had a little bit of free time. Why do people like him?
Because people like Neapolitan ice cream, man. Because they can't really choose what they like about it, so they kind of blend it all together, and that's why they like it. Or they cheat, or they don't want to go and just make a decision. That's about Holland. I've pretty much kind of written him off for me personally because I can't find anything great about him I like, and because I have 4 to 5 guys already ahead of him. So I'm not crazy about Javon Holland at all.
Before I talk about what I think of him, how important is luck in football?
How important is it?
Yes.
In football?
Yes.
Luck can be to the point you can turn around and say that's why Cisco is, Cisco from Syracuse's way. Sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time. I don't think with Javon Holland is the ball finds him. I just think he just happens. Here's a football. Let me just go ahead and grab that right there. Or hey, I'm kind of floating in that area. So I don't know, man. How important is luck in football? Man, that's a great question. That's a great question.
Javon Holland plays with the 4-leaf clover hanging from his neck, his lucky horseshoe hanging off of his pads,
and a rabbit foot dangling from his cleat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched the game today, and he literally tripped, and the ball fell towards him, and he got an interception. He tripped and fell into a pick, man, and the reason that I initially watched him, I watched him first in safety because he had over 20 interceptions in his career, and he's one of those guys that it's a head scratcher. It's a head scratcher. I don't know what he does or what he provides for their defense. He looks a little confused sometimes.
From what I've seen, he's just out there, just kind of freelancing a lot.
Yeah,
he's like freelancing.
I think that's what he does a lot. But he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it with a plan, or his coaches don't intend for him to freelance. I think is the right way to say it. They just say, okay, we're gonna run a cover 3. Javon, stand right here.
Right.
And then that's how it goes.
It just so having the ball just goes right there to him.
Yeah. So he may
have a football magnet. He may have a football magnet in his pocket, and the ball just comes straight to him. I don't know, man. I'm not crazy about Holland.
I'm not either. I don't think that when it comes to football things, I don't think that he has a knack for it per se. But man, he is a lucky dude. He's a lucky dude, and I don't know how to explain it. I can't pinpoint what it is.
Can't quantify it, huh?
No, I can't. It is an unquantifiable quality, and I was gonna say talent, but I'm very deliberate with my words, I was not gonna call it that. It's an unquantifiable trait of his, and I don't want a player that's relying on luck and happenstance for my team. I don't think that Javon Holland is a great football player. I wouldn't even say that he's an amazing athlete. So sometimes they'll say that guys are good athletes, so their coaches make positions for I don't think that Holland is the most amazing athlete.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we're gonna put Holland as a guy who's an undrafted free agent. He's just kind of maybe a guy who just comes and works out for you at best case scenario.
I wouldn't. He's not. He's not gonna go undrafted. I know that because his production will, to an extent, speak for itself. So a team is gonna take a chance on him.
But
I just don't want it to be
my
my
question.
team.
But my question is, does he have the tools for making? See, because here's the problem: does he have the tools? You're saying he's not an exceptional athlete. You're saying right now he's the luckiest football player on God's creation.
Yeah.
Okay. So if he doesn't have the physical traits and tools, then why would you waste a valuable draft pick on a guy you could probably bring in as an undrafted free agent and just be a practice guy? Why would you waste a draft pick on him?
I don't know.
Okay.
If you want me to be
Right.
totally honest, if you want me to be
Right.
frank on Frankly Football,
Yeah,
I don't know.
because in Frankly football, a couple different things that matter. Coaching matters, and another thing, you got to be able to play. So we've wasted some time on a guy we don't think we ever want to see him show up at Frisco. So I'm good.
I'll say this though. I think that Javon Holland plays with loose hips, and I like that. I think that he plays with loose hips.
Listen,
that's just because I had to have something nice to say.
Okay. That's the goodness in you coming out. Let me find one nice thing to say about him. He's got loose hips.
Of course.
Okay, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you that.
So to kind of round it out, once again continuing to talk about safety, Holland is probably, man, at this point maybe safety 8 for me as it stands right now. And
he's safety 8 or just cornerback 8?
Safety 8. I'm not sure that I haven't seen him with the ability to exclusively play corner. I've seen him be in the nickel area sometimes, but I'm not sure if he was playing nickel corner.
Okay. You're not sure what he was playing. He was just out there.
Yeah, he was there, man. He was there.
Okay.
He had an all access pass to the field. You know, if you search the insides of his pads, you might have found a press pass.
Okay. All right, I can dig it. Okay. So he's number 8.
Yeah, as it stands right now, and that's just because I haven't watched all of the safeties yet. He may continue to fall. He's been falling since I've been watching safety.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll continue to let him do what he does.
Like he isn't bad as like Paris Ford, for example. I don't think that Paris Ford is even draftable, but he's not that bad.
But the only reason you're thinking about dealing with Holland is because his production numbers. I mean, but you say he's lucky. So if he's closer to Paris Ford than he is to Cisco, and I don't think Cisco's good. Well, I think Cisco can play. If he's closer to Ford, and I don't think Ford can play. So if he's closer to Ford than Cisco, okay. I'm not sure why you're going to waste that time looking at him. I'd rather you go spend more time looking at young Calvin because I know Calvin can play. You know, I'm just being honest.
I see it like this. I gotta watch the guys so that I can know whether they are or are not worth the time that I've used on them.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that.
But yeah, man. Holland is probably a day 3 guy in my eyes. Some team is probably going to draft him day 2. I just hope that it is not my team. I hope that it is not my team.
Wait a minute. Holland is closer to he's closer to Paris Ford. Can we both get a consensus? We don't think Paris Ford is drafted.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay. So if we know he's closer to Paris Ford, who's an undraftable guy and who isn't even a priority free agent, why would anybody waste time and draft him in round 6 and 7 if we know he's not better? He's not even better than Ford right now.
The same reason that some people would say that Micah Parsons is linebacker 1. You know.
No. We're not even gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Not here on Frankly Football. We're not gonna do that. We understand Micah Parsons has traits. He has tools. the things that you can work with. The one thing you work against Michael Parsons, we don't want to get too far into it, is that his maturity. So because of the maturity, and we don't think, and we're kind of jaded because we don't want physical, big, get off the bus, big guy on our team, but he doesn't do anything amazingly. Now, he does have the ability, he does have the ceiling to move into that guy we expect him to be, but we're jaded because of Jalen. Oh man, that's nice. We're jaded when we see a guy like that. If we don't see things that he's already doing well, like one or two things he does well, we're not big on projection guy. But going back to Holland, we look at him and saying he's just lucky. So why would we even think about looking at him in 6, 7 or as a priority free agent?
I say that he's a day 3 guy because I don't think that he's undraftable. I think that.
Go ahead, B.
I think that luck, whether it's intentional or unintentional, is one of the intangibles. Okay. And if he is a guy that's managed to capitalize on his luck, then more power to him. I think that he's a day 3 guy. I'm pretty sure teams haven't watched as much film as I have yet, to be totally honest. A lot of teams are just recycling each other's boards, and one of them will probably pull the trigger on him day 2.
I'm putting Holland on the all UPS team. One of the first guys can get a job at UPS. He's gonna be great there. He's gonna be absolutely amazing. Yeah,
and so that's perfectly fine, man. That is why we work well together. We're not afraid to disagree.
Yeah. You want to give him an opportunity to say he can be drafted. I don't even think he's draftable. I think he's a undrafted free agent, and you're gonna say, hey, bring him in because he had production in college. I think he's gonna be great at sorting packages and getting them in the greater Richmond area, getting them delivered. He's gonna be all.
And those type of packages. I got you.
Right.
So, kind of straying away from the draft, because we're not limited by time anymore. We can package everything together. Going back to that word.
Yeah, no doubt.
A certain defensive end, a premier talent, also in the state of Texas, has just recently been relieved of his duties. J.J. Watt is a free agent. And I said this today. I said I love Randy Gregory, and I promised that he would still have a role on this team, but I would like to at least kick the tires on J.J. Watt.
Expound, my brother. Expound why you want to go get J.J. Watt.
Because I've seen back during the days of Rob Marinelli, we had this little thing called the NASCAR package. Randy Gregory, Randy was kicked inside a little bit. I mean, sometimes. It was used a lot during the David Irving days. Randy and David Irving would both be inside. That was its heyday. Right. But we've also seen J.J. Watt play all up and down that defensive line. He's played 3 tech. He's played some 3. He's also played kind of that weird outside linebacker, but also edge rusher type role. He's done that. He's played all up and down that line. He has real estate everywhere. So I would love to see him in a situation where you got D-Law, Randy Gregory, and J.J. Watt all going up to terrorize the quarterback. And the reason that I think it would be great, if you remember, Jadeveon Clowney was the one who benefited most from Watt being on the other side.
Absolutely.
Teams had to account for J.J. Watt at all times. It was 2 guys in his face, and the guy on the opposite end of the line was the main one who benefited. So I think that if you get a guy like that, a guy who needs to be double teamed, and not saying that Randy doesn't, it's just that he's not there yet. He doesn't have the reputation just yet. J.J. Watt, teams know that he's J.J. Watt. When teams look at Randy Gregory, they may think, oh, the guy who's been out of the league for like 3 years. So I would
So
love
would
to
you?
have that.
Okay, but J.J. Watt is primarily lined up as a left defensive end, correct?
Yeah, but
Okay.
I wouldn't be afraid to put him at right.
Okay. Um, at year 11, J.J. Watt. I
Mm-hmm.
will never take anything away from J.J. Watt because I think he's absolutely amazing. I
Mm-hmm.
think he's past his prime. It's
Mm-hmm.
like
Oh yes, I
between
agree.
2000,
I
yeah,
agree.
2000. I mean, the guy's historic. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Um, for what I need, he doesn't fit what I need. The biggest
Mm.
thing I need right now, I need a one technique. I need a 45 play one technique because I think I have edge rushers on my football team, and I think I can also go get another young one in the draft and maybe the third round, aka Young Boogie. Oh, I like that. I can
Yeah.
get Young Boogie in the third, and we can get him, Bradley, Demarcus, and Randy as my defensive ends, and I'm ready to go. I need a one technique, so I'm not going to waste any resources on a because my resources are limited until I
Yes.
sign Rain Dakota on anybody outside that. Now, if I was going to spend any money or any resources on anybody, is another guy who currently has is rumored to be going to be released the great Patrick Peterson, who I have loved since his days when he fought Quintaris Quintaris Felipe Jones to duel his freshman year. He was like, how when we saw young Daryl Stingley Jr., when we saw him not last year but year before last, and how much
Yes.
we were like, oh my God, who's that guy? Patrick Peterson, when he was in college, that's what he did to me. The first time I saw Patrick Peterson play, I was like, oh my God, I love him. So I think if I'm going to spend any money on that, I solve my free safety problem out the gate by going to get Patrick Peterson. That's
Okay.
what I
So
do.
he's played a cornerback. So you're saying that you would move him back to free and try to
Top,
get him to transition at that point of his career. And
top,
by
top.
the way,
Mm-hmm.
he's not necessarily an old guy. He's going to be 31 when the season starts. So he's
I
not the
can
oldest
sign.
guy in the world.
I can sign him to a 3-year, 4-year deal, move him and transition him back to free safety, and solidify my secondary. I would have three. I would have three of my guys who I would want. I would have my dude. I would have my low level. How we've been clamoring for like an Earl Thomas type guy who can play all over the field and be rangy like that. That's what Patrick Peterson gives me. Patrick Peterson
Yes.
gives that to me. And then Donovan Wilson can play that that big body and in the box strong safety with Diggs on the opposite side. Dude, Patrick Peterson would help my back end by leaps and bounds.
That's
So if
right.
I'm gonna spend any money in free agency, I would make a call to JJ Watt, but no, I wouldn't even call him. I mean, I know you say do your due diligence. I wouldn't even call him because he does not fit what I need. I've got 3 defensive ends on my football team right now, and I have the ability to go get younger inside the draft. I can get a Rousseau. We've done a mock draft, so Rousseau has been in the top 100. Boogie's going to be there in the top 100. So we can go get another defensive end and get him younger and develop him in what we want. What I need is a one technique. What I need is linebackers. What I need is a free safety.
I'm not going to disagree with any of that because I think it's all true, but a man can dream. And the good thing about all of this, both of the
Right.
guys that we just talked about, as soon as they were released, one Demarcus Lawrence, he took to Twitter and immediately
I like this.
started recruiting, if you will, for these
I,
guys
I
to
like
come and join
I like
guys.
his I like the fact that he's active, that he's actively talking to guys and try to get veteran guys in the locker room and things of that nature, and that's great. It'd be great. And listen, JJ Watt would sell jerseys. He would be a Jerry favorite because he'd sell jerseys. But on the
Absolutely.
football, he would sell jerseys out the building. My problem is he doesn't. Gosh, and I know this sounds crazy. He doesn't deal with my number one need on my defense, which is having a run stuffing, pass rushing, wreak havoc kind of defensive tackle.
Hmm.
And if I'm going to do that, I know how much, we'll talk about that at another show. You want to go get a young one and go get one in the draft. And there's guys there. There's guys there you can go get in the second, in the third round. But if I'm going to, I don't want to get another guy that's going to keep me from putting Bradley and Nye on the field. And that's what J.J. Watt will do. J.J. Watt will keep Bradley and Nye on the bench.
Well, yeah, I want Bradley and Nye on the field, man, because once upon a time, Bradley and I whooped up on Penei Sewell, and we see how many people are singing his praises.
Wait a minute. Hold on there, brother. So you saying there's another guy out here that kind of did what Rashawn Slater did to Chase Young, did it in a reverse way, whereas he whipped up on a top flight guy that people that wanted and looked at and loved.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Bradley and I, in his last year at Utah, that was the highlight of the game. There were articles about it because both of them were up for awards at their respective position. Bradley, I think, got the best of Mr. Sewell in that matchup. So
gotcha.
I think that he does have a place in this offense. You are absolutely right. But I don't want the thought of his progression to prevent guys from even being talked to. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, I got that. I see. Okay. The reason I say that, we've had progress stopping guys on here for guys who were, going to have different destinations after their career. They would, like, if you bring J.J. Watt here, who is definitely going to Canton, he would be almost like another guy that people think belongs in Canton, has done for the Cowboys. And I'll say it, I've always said it. You think Jason Witten is going to the Hall? A lot of people believe that. I don't. I don't.
Hall of very good.
Hall of very, very good. But he held back what you could find out what Blake Jarwin could do. It kind of slowed down the progression of it. It definitely slowed down the progression of a Dalton Schultz.
Yes.
And so and then it ended up having you have to let people go and they go be better other places. Like my man Marty B. Marty B left because he couldn't get any burn because everybody's like, oh well, Jason Witten's here. But he turned around to be one of the better blocking tight ends, but you saw he had the potential to be a good tight end. So I don't want to have another guy come in, even though he's a name and he's been a great player, to stop the progress. I need to see Bradley and I this year. I've got to see Bradley and I.
I'd love to. I can't say anything about that. I would love to. I would love to see what we thought would have been the progression from him as a rookie to now, especially with hopefully some semblance of a training camp in the state.
Yeah.
If it's left up to the regulations by the states, then we'll absolutely see it because Texas wants everybody out there.
Oh yeah. Texas ain't trying to close nothing down. So that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
I would definitely want to see, if I'm going to spend any money in free agency, I got to deal with mostly a one technique. I think I can get a linebacker, a couple of linebackers in the draft. So next time we get together and kick it how we kick it, I think we may want to go into our draft philosophy of, do we bang two corners in the second and third, or do we bang a corner and a linebacker? Or if we have multiple picks, like I hope we do, can we fix can we fix everything on this football team in day two? That's a great thing for us to kick into.
That's a great cliffhanger, man. That's a great cliffhanger. And I think that's a good point for us to drop off, because we didn't want to hold y'all too long because
too long,
I'm gonna drop this video in the middle of the day tomorrow, and I don't want to eat up all of people's work day because they should be working.
They at least thinking about it.
Yeah, thinking about it. There we go. So if you haven't liked this video, of course, hit that subscribe button, smack it. If you're not subscribed already, I'm kind of ashamed of you. Ashamed of you if you're not subscribed already.
Right.
But yeah, man, this is Frankly Football. I'm Brandon, and I got my man with me.
I'm setting it off, Chris, man. Until next time, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.